Good morning, Professor and erudite scholar. My name is Adelowo Mojeed Adedeji. Today, I will be presenting on a topic that cited the intersection of innovation, ethics, and strategic execution. Ethical digital innovation and project management approach. This presentation aims to provide a conscious yet critical overview of how organizations can navigate ethical challenges while choosing the most effective methodology for digital transformation initiative. Digital transformation is no longer optional, it is essential. Yet, it brings not just technological disruption, but also serious ethical and strategical challenges. In this presentation, I will examine two central themes. First, how organizations can especially manage digital innovation, particularly in relation to data privacy and security. Second, how to strategically choose the right project management approach, be it agile, waterfall, or combined, that is hybrid, for digital transformation efforts. Let's begin the ethical landscape of digital innovation. Ethical innovation, why does it matter? Is a question. Ethical innovation is not just about avoiding lawsuits or complying with regulations. It is about building sustainable trust. When ethics are overlooked, we see consequences like data leak, algorithmic discrimination, and reduced user trust. Digital tools must not only be efficient, they must be fair, transparent, and secure. Now, let's break it down into specific ethical challenges in more details. Ethical challenges. There are three primary challenges dominating the ethical dimension of digital innovation. First, data privacy. Too often, users are unaware how their data is used or shared. The Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal is a striking example of how consent was bypassed for manipulation. Second, data security. As digital assets grow, so does the risk of cyber attack. Weak security not only leads to financial loss, but reputational damage. Third, algorithmic bias. When AI systems are trained on non-diverse data, they often reinforce social inequities, as seen in flawed facial recognition systems. So, how do we mitigate this risk and lead the ethically? The best practice for ethical innovation. Organizations must proactively build ethical into every stage of innovation. This begins with privacy by design, limiting data collection, anonymizing user information, and making consent clear. Next is security by default. This includes encryption, staff training, and transparent breach responses. When it comes to AI, ethical innovation means building fairness into algorithms by using diverse data sets and established oversight body. Finally, through transparency and accountability, create the trust that innovation needs to thrive. Now that we understand how innovative ethical lead, let's now look for how to manage innovation strategically. Digital innovation must be executed with precision, and that depends heavily on selecting the right project management methodology. Each approach, agile, waterfall, or hybrid, offer different strengths, but right choice is always context specific. Let's begin with the traditional approach, the waterfall. Waterfall approach is the best, suited for stable, predictable environment. Think infrastructural upgrade or compliance driving system. Its strength lies in clear milestone, full documentation, and control over scope, but it is rigid. In fast challenging projects, waterfall can slow down the innovation and delay user value. That is why Agile comes in. Agile approach is flow the script. It is a dynamic, flexible, and user-centric. Instead of planning everything upfront, Agile teams iterate, test, and adapt based on real-time feedback. That made me remember when we are doing project management, there was a case study when engineers were using Agile in their work, and it's very fast, efficient with them because they gave us practical example of it, and we test it and it worked well. They do their job in interest. Instead of planning everything upfront, Agile teams iterate, test, and make it a digital product like mobile apps or platform that require rapid evolution. However, Agile depends on high collaboration and active stakeholder engagement. Sometimes not all organizations are ready for it. So when it happens, when you need both flexibility and structure, that is when hybrid comes in. It blends the predictable of waterfall and the agility of Agile. It is highly effective and complex digital transformation projects such as healthcare or finance. It reminds me too, when we are doing our project management too, there's a case study given to us that when the medical doctors attend to patients, they use hybrid in controlling the crowding at hospital. Also, we see that Agile is one of those things that most of engineering they are using, but now the hybrid is the one that medical doctors are using mostly in healthcare, where the regulation compliance must coexist with user-focused innovation. For example, as I said earlier on, hospital they are using hybrid, maybe waterfall too, for baking compliance system. This dual track approach allows for control without sacrificing speed. So how do you know the best method approach? Choosing the right methodology. There is no universal answer. Each project must be assessed on its own terms. You need to consider factors such as the complexity of the project and availability of stakeholders and your organization risk tolerance. Highly regulated industries may lean towards waterfall or hybrid, why tech startups may thrive with Agile. Ultimately, your method should serve your transformation goals, not other way round. Let me wrap it up. In my conclusion, digital transformation must be both ethical and strategic. Organizations must safeguard data, ensure fairness in AI, and upload transparency. At the same time, they must select project methods that align with their environment and goals. When ethics guide innovation and strategy shape execution, digital transformation becomes the only successful but sustainable. These are the key sources that supported this presentation, including the Agile Manifesto, research on privacy and bias, and case studies that guided my discussion. Thank you very much for having me.